The rain hammered against the window of my office, a relentless percussion matching the pounding in my ribs. Each breath was a dull ache, a souvenir from my last encounter with Sal Demarco's goons. Whiskey sloshed in the glass on my desk, a murky reflection of the city lights bleeding through the downpour. Lila Monroe's retainer barely covered the cost of the bottle, but it was a necessary balm for a man staring down the barrel of a case that smelled like quicksand. She's a viper, Lila. Beautiful, dangerous, and coiled tight around a secret I wasn't sure I wanted to unearth. The photograph she's shown me earlier as a Monroe with a woman who wasn't his wife gnawed at the edges of my mind. A little diversion, maybe. A honey trap for a mark, or something darker. You shouldn't be poking around, Mr. Harding, she's warned, her voice a little tremor, barely audible over the storm. Some things are best left buried. Easy for her to say. She's got a mansion in Crestwood, a fortune, and enough lawyers to bury a small army. I'm just a private eye with a busted rib and a thirst for the truth. The Egyptian pottery fragment sat on my desk, a silent puzzle piece mocking my efforts. I picked it up from warehouse number 7, along with traces of mud clinging to the floor, the kind of mud you don't find in a textile mill. Arthur Monroe's textile deal. A front, of course. For what? The pottery fragment suggested something older, something stolen, something valuable. I needed to see Sal Demarco again. He's been skittish ever since I started asking questions, a nervous twitch betraying his forced composure. He works for Edward Blackwood, a man who moves through the city like a ghost, leaving behind a trail of hushed whispers and veiled threats. Blackwood is the key, I was sure of it. Warehouse number 7 reeked of rain, decay, and desperation. The docks were slick with grime, the air thick with the smell of salt water and impending violence. 2 goons, bigger than I remembered, stood guard at the entrance. They didn't hesitate to draw their weapons, looking for something. Harding. One of them sneered. Just admiring the architecture, I replied, dodging a clumsy punch. The fight was short and brutal. My ribs protested with every movement, but adrenaline masked the pain. When the last goon hit the pavement, I stepped over him and into the warehouse. Sal was huddled in a corner, his face pale and sweaty. I told you to leave it alone, Harding, he whimpered. Arthur Monroe's disappearance isn't exactly a minor inconvenience, Sal. Blackwood wants you to stop. He said it's dangerous. Blackwood always says that. What's he hiding? Sal looked around nervously, as if expecting Blackwood himself to materialize from the shadows. He's involved with the collector. The name hung in the air, a chilling echo of the stories I'd heard whispered in the back rooms of City Hall. The collector, a phantom, a legend, said to deal in stolen antiquities, silencing anyone who gets too close. What does he want? He's looking for something. Something old. Something valuable. Arthur found it. What is it? Sal shook his head, tears welling in his eyes. I don't know. Blackwood will tell me. A shadow fell across the warehouse floor. Edward Blackwood. He stood silhouetted against the rain-streaked window, his face impassive, his eyes gold. Mr. Harding, he said, his voice smooth and menacing. I believe our conversation is over. I's just getting started, Blackwood. You're poking around where you don't belong. Some things are best left undisturbed. He nodded towards Sal. He's told you enough. Sal backed away, his eyes pleading. What are you hiding, Blackwood? Blackwood smiled, a slow, predatory curve of his lips. Let's just say, Mr. Harding, that you's about to unearth a secret that would be better left buried. A secret that reaches far beyond this city, to ancient lands and forgotten empires. He turned and disappeared into the rain, leaving me standing alone in the warehouse, the scent of fear and betrayal heavy in the air. I left the warehouse, the rain plastering my hair to my forehead. A hieroglyphic locket, the one Lila Monroe had given me as a gift, felt heavy in my pocket. It was more than just a trinket, it was a key, I was certain of it. A key to understanding the connection between Arthur Monroe, Edward Blackwood, the collector, and the secrets buried beneath this city. Back in my office, I examined the locket under the dim light of my desk lamp. The symbols were intricate, alien. I spent years studying ancient languages, but these were unlike anything I'd ever seen. The door creaked open. Lila Monroe stood silhouetted in the doorway, her face pale in the dim light. You shouldn't be digging so deep, Mr. Harding, she said, her voice low and urgent. I was just trying to find Arthur. She stepped into the office, her eyes scanning the room. He's gone, Harding. There's nothing you can do. Where did he go? She hesitated, her gaze drifting to the locket in my hand. He's gone to Egypt. Egypt? Why? He said he's found something. Something important. She paused, her eyes filled with a strange mix of fear and longing. He said it was about the Sunstone. The name struck a chord, a fleeting memory surfacing from the depths of my mind. An ancient legend, a myth about a gem said to possess unimaginable power. The Sunstone, I repeated, a sense of foreboding settling in my gut. He said it's real, and he's gone to find it. She looked directly into my eyes, and for a moment, I thought I saw a glimmer of something raw and vulnerable beneath her carefully constructed facade. "You need to let it go, Harding," she whispered, a voice laced with a desperate plea, "before it consumes you." She turned and walked out of the office, disappearing into the rain. I was left alone, staring at the hieroglyphic locket, the name Sunstone echoing in my ears. Egypt. A man searching for a mythical gem, a shadowy figure known as the Collector. The pieces were starting to fall into place, but I had a feeling that the truth would be more dangerous than I could ever imagine.